What is going on, Krutons and Nutons? It's me, Wonton, obviously. So, continuing off of the previous video, we got ourselves another 5-pack, or in this case, 4-pack and a gear, or Baku-Gear pack, as it's called right now, but this time, we are opening the Pyrus Spectryx Ultra and Darkus Trox Ultra, as you see from the box here. Going to zoom in on here. Alright, so we got 4 Bakugan this time, one including an Aurelus and an Aquas. Obviously you see the Pegatrix and Trox right here. We're given the darkest variant of the gear, which we will get into in a bit. But then, looking at the back of the package, we see who we are getting in terms of the cores. So for those of you that aren't aware, they are now including the images of the core Bakugan that are included in the packages, or the packs, including starter packs, decks, and along with the 4 packs now. That way we know what Baku cores we are getting. That way we are more informed in our decision in terms of what to buy. That way we don't get any duplicates or too many duplicates, unless we do want those duplicates, especially when it comes to competitive or collectible play. So in this case, we're getting Aurelus Howl core, and then Snellius core, Aquas. But aside from that, guys, let's go ahead and get into the contents of the box. So, snap to fast forward. And we're back. So, after everything has been unboxed, we see everything here laid out before you on the screen. So, moving from left to right, we are going to start with Aurelus Howl core. Aurelus Howl core, as you see here, is a blue shield and a standard shield, 400B, 1 damage. If landing on a shield, plus 400B, and if you land on a blue shield, plus an additional 4 damage. Not too shabby. And then moving on to the Aqua Snellius core, Fire Fist and Helix, 600B, 1 damage. More than above, a little bit above average in terms of B power, obviously, but in terms of the damage, it is a bit subpar. And then moving on to Pegatrix Ultra, it is a Green Fist and Shield, 800B, 1 damage. Astounding level of B power. Unfortunately, again, low damage, just like its companion Snellius here. And then Trox Ultra, the mascot of the Baku-Gear pack, is going to be Shield and Green Fist, just like Pegatrix. And it is going to be 700B and 2 damage. Not too shabby, actually. It's actually pretty decent. As for the shield, or as for the cores that we're given blue shield plus 550B, shield plus 300B, which are, we've seen those before in the original sets. And then one of the new ones, which is actually one of the more stronger cores that I've seen thus far, is Red Fist or Fire Fist, plus 200B, plus 3 damage, and minus 2 Baku-Gear energy. So this is actually, honestly, the best gear-related core I have seen thus far out of the stuff that I've gotten, just like, in the previous videos. But anyway, moving on. Helix is Shadow Strike, minus 2 Baku-Gear energy. Green Fist, or the first Green Fist, plus 2 damage, minus 2 Baku-Gear energy. Next is going to be Shield, pretty standard, of Pyrus and Darkus only, plus 400. Next is going to be the 300B, minus 100 energy for the Shield. And then another duplicate copy of Green Fist, plus 100B and plus 3 damage. So, yeah, that's about it when it comes to the gears, or the character cards and the cores. So moving on to the gears that we're given. First off, we're starting with Scorching Swords. Scorching Swords is 2 energy, plus Shadow Strike, 100B, 1 damage. Next one we're moving on to is Pyro Hammer. Pyro Hammer is, 6 energy, plus 100B, plus 12 damage, considerable amount of damage. Can definitely be useful, especially with the Fire Fist right here, because it's going to make the cost down to 4, and overall damage going to be, 15. Next, we're going to move on to Baku Thrusters. Baku Thrusters is 4 energy, plus 300B, plus 3 damage. Nothing new or special there. And then lastly, we have Dark Daggers. 4 energy, 200B, plus 5 damage. And that's going to be it when it comes to the gears. And now we're going to go over to the turntable. That way we get close-ups on all of these Bakugan, along with the gear and the rolling. So moving on. All right, we are first taking a look at the mascot of the pack here, which is going to be Darkus Trox Ultra. As you can see, it's a little bit different compared to its previous Battle Planet counterpart. It's a little bit more hunched over, but also a little bit more, I guess, animated in terms of its appearance. It also, I do want to note here that it does have a lot more manual pieces, manual parts compared to previous Bakugan Ultras, along with current Ultras now. The hands, you have to pull out yourself, along with the feet. And not only that, but the mouth. The mouth is actually a manual piece as well. It's not, as you can probably see, let me give it a second. Let me close this. There we go. The mouth itself can actually be opened and closed, which can actually be kind of fun to utilize, especially if you're into like the stop motion kind of stuff. You can actually animate Trox speaking if you're any good at stop motion animation, which I unfortunately am not. But as we close out here, you can definitely see a little bit an evenness of the purple and the black. However, there is a bit too much purple in my opinion in terms of the tail here. It would have been kind of cooler to kind of make it more like a scale type of design, but that's just me. So moving on to it with its gear attached. Alright, so here is Trox in all of his Baku-Gear glory. In this case, it is going to be a Darkus variant of the Baku-Gear Ventus Cyclinator. So you can definitely see the cannons here, along with the cannons on top. It's actually really cool in the sense that Trox just comes in with cannons everywhere, very similar to that of like a Transformer, or there was this one toy brand where you can actually attach like weapons and guns to a dinosaur. I'm not sure what that brand or toy is, but it kind of reminds me of that from what I saw when going to like the toy section at Target or Walmart. So yeah, definitely a good looking Bakugan, especially with all these cannons. Can't wait to kind of like see what other Darkus Bakugan can kind of be attached to this in the cool kind of way. But in terms of here, we have Trox. And let's go ahead and move on to the other Ultra Bakugan, shall we? Alright, and here's our first look at the Pyrus Pegatrix Ultra, the first and only Pyrus Pegatrix Ultra that we have, because we didn't receive it in, Battle Planet, but we are getting it in the Armored Alliance. The legs are going to be manual. You actually have to fold these out yourself, along with the wings and the horn. The magnet is obviously going to be part of its tail. But yeah, that's just going to be about it. Just a quick little look at Pyrus Pegatrix Ultra. Here's our quick look at the Aqua Snellius core. We've seen the look of this before with our Darkus one that in a previous video, so if you haven't checked that out yet, I did open it up with the Pyrus Dragonoid Ultra, and it's a Baku-Gear. But anyway, everything looks about to be the same in comparison to that one. Obviously, this one's Aquas instead. The design, great. One thing I did not mention in that video is that these feet here are actually manual, so you do have to fold these up before you can fold up the Bakugan. That way you can roll it properly along with closing it properly. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our final core Bakugan, which is Halcor Core. And lastly, we have Orlis Halcor Core as our the last one of the pack. Which is kind of ironic considering that this This is a dog. Anyway, so we can definitely see, a little bit of silver detailing along with gold detailing. That part is going to be a bit different compared to the previous Aurelus Bakugan. Previous Aurelus Bakugan did have the metallic silver painting, but they never really had the gold painting. So it definitely highlights that this is an Aurelus Bakugan, which is definitely appreciated with the added effort of the gold detailing paint. So now let's go ahead and move on into the opening and rolling of the gears and Bakugan. And we're back. So, now that we got a close-up and look at how they open, roll, and what they look like, now is the important question, is this Baku-Gear pack worth getting? Especially when it comes to the competitive play. In terms of the collectability, obviously, if you love Trox, absolutely. I'm talking to you, R2XC. I know you love Trox, so getting a Darkus Trox for the first time in terms of Ultra is probably a dream come true. And its stats aren't too bad. So, looking at the character cards and seeing if they have evolutions, unfortunately when it comes to the Howl Core, the Aurelus Howl Core, it doesn't come with any Evos at this time in the upcoming set of Armored Elite. It's just going to stay its base form character card, which isn't to say that it isn't a good Bakugan, but it's not a bad Bakugan either. You just have to be very particular with your rolls, which comes with a lot of practice. As for the other three Bakugan that come with it, Darkus Trox Ultra, Pyrus Pegatrix Ultra, and Aqua Snellius, that's going to be a little bit of a different story. So we're going to start out with Pyrus Pegatrix Ultra, which you can see its evolution card right around here. It's going to be a Hyper Pegatrix Ultra. It's a 3 energy, 900B, and 6 damage card. Effect is going to be Rapid Fire. You can play the second Rapid Fire card for free, which can kind of work in conjunction with Hyper Pegatrix as well. If you play a Rapid Fire card, you can play that card for free. In terms of its overall stat bonuses, I wouldn't say it's entirely great, considering that it's only getting 100B power, but it is getting a pretty decent bump in terms of damage rating. So this card is an okay kind of card. It does allow you to kind of let loose on your combos because of its rapid fire ability. So it's definitely not something to scoff at, but also there might be some better options later down the line. But it is a good option as of right now, considering its base form being 800 B power. Moving on, we're going over to the other Ultra, which is going to be the Darkus Trox Ultra. Its evolution is going to be right here again. Hyper Trox Ultra. Hyper Trox Ultra is going to be a 3 energy, 1000B, and 3 damage. And then its effect is, if it has a Baku-Gear attached, plus 6 damage and Shadow Strike. So, with all these gear cores and gear oriented cards, this is definitely going to be one of the cards that you play in a gear oriented deck. It's actually a very, very strong evolution, especially for a 3 cost. 1000 in terms of a 3 cost is nothing to look down upon. It is only a rare, surprisingly, in terms of its evolution. And then when Baku-Gear is attached, it goes up to 9 damage, barring any sort of bonuses from your cores or from the gear that you attach to it. So this is definitely a card and Bakugan that is worth getting or worth considering when you're kind of looking into competitive play. Lastly, we are going to go into our core Bakugan, which is Aqua Snellius. Aqua Snellius, its evolution is going to be Titanilius, again, showing up right here. It's going to be a 5 energy, 1300B, and 5 damage. Effect is going to be Victor with Sync. Reveal a card that's 5 cost to add an additional 10 damage. So, or 5 or more, sorry, not 5, 5 or more, for plus 10 damage. So this card, it's kind of hard to say. It is very strong in B power, and it is in Aquas, which does incorporate a lot of B power oriented cards, so it's easy to win the game of B power. So Victor is going to be pretty easy unless you're going against Might Mac or Mock Mac. And then getting that 5 cost card, I'm not really sure. We definitely need to kind of keep an eye on the metagame in terms of if there are going to be any 5 cost cards used with it. That's going to be, you know, worth this kind of play. In terms of its base form, obviously you guys remember it's 600B, 1 damage. So again, nothing to scoff at, but a little bit too early to decide whether or not you know, Aqua Snellius is good. Its evolution is good, just, you know, surface level, but future looking forward, it may or may not be too grand. But you know, 5 damage is not too bad either. So anyway, overall, I would say this set is definitely worth getting, especially when it comes to the Trox and the Pegatrix. The Trox and Pegatrix absolutely are going to be very, very good cards for the deck style of play that they are going to be implemented in. With Trox, you know, being Baku-Gear oriented decks, while with Pegatrix being more rapid fire. But yeah, in terms of buy, I would say definitely buy, especially for a collector and especially for a competitive player, because there is a lot of potential coming from this set alone. Sure, them individually is not great, but added with, you know, other, you know, Bakugan teammates and other cards that we have yet to see, definitely worth getting for the future metagame, or at least for consideration in it. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, you kind of know the deal in terms of that part of the video. But other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day. All right. So in terms of my overall opinion, I would say this set is definitely worth purchasing, not just for the Bakugan themselves being Trox and Pegatrix, especially when their Evos are considered, but also because of the cores that are involved. The cores that are involved, especially the Fire Fist core, which is, you know, a reminder, is going to be plus 200B, plus, what was it? I think it was 5 damage, plus 3 damage, and minus 2 Baku-Gear energy. It's definitely a very, very strong Baku-Gear. There might be some, it might come with some other sets later on, but if we don't have any information on it, definitely get this for now. Because it is going to be very strong. Just like mentioned in a previous video, these gear reduction cores seem to only come in the Ultra Packs, the ones that come with gears, or just any set that comes with gears, along with the starter decks. It does not seem to be coming with the cores at the moment, from what we've been seeing in previous videos, especially from the Invitational. So definitely pick this up for the Bakugan and the cores, because, you know, it's definitely has a lot of potential and a lot of playability. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. Please let me know what you guys think of everything down below. If you like videos more in this kind of format, let me know, because I'm trying something out here, especially when it comes to the competitive play. But yeah, like, subscribe. Do I really need to tell you guys all that? Because you guys know the drill. But yeah, anyway, guys, have a good rest of your day.